I feel bad for people that are like 10 or whatever now, young kids these days growing up, because it's like you've now grown up in a time where all the dodgy people have been like, I mean, there's probably more dodgy people, but like all of these like famous dodgy people have been exposed, and you didn't have that innocence at the time, and to watch or listen or interact with them before we all knew. You know what I mean? Because like I grew up watching like Kevin Spacey films, loving them. Some of the Kevin Spacey films, like The Usual Suspects, um, what's the other one? Seven, are like two of my like favorite films, and I feel bad because like kids now, they will be like, "Oh, Kevin Spacey's a pure creep." Like I can't watch his films, and it's like, yeah, that sucks, and I don't blame you for that, but that's rubbish because like you know these are some of the greatest films ever, and you can't watch them anymore. And I just feel really bad for these kids. I mean, I even tried to watch LA Confidential a couple years ago after the Kevin Spacey thing came out, and I was like, I just can't sit through them. I'm like watching them. I'm like, oh man, you're making it weird. You're making me feel weird. Like it seems like it's a good film, but like now I feel weird about it. And same with like music and that. Like obviously everyone pretty much on the planet grew up listening to Michael Jackson to an extent, and I used to love some of Michael Jackson's tunes. And then it was like, oh, I don't know, now he's like a pure pedo or whatever. I don't want to listen to his music anymore. And I've heard, some people will be like, oh, he's not actually, he's framed or it's this or it's that. And like, oh yeah, I don't know, fair enough. I don't know for a fact what's going on. But the fact that he might be like that just makes me feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like, picturing like him being weird and that, I'm like, I can't really enjoy his music as much as I used to. Um, I even saw something on YouTube and it was like a thumbnail, and it was something about Anthony Kiedis from the Red Hot Chili Peppers being like, and it was like, oh, he's done something dodgy with women or whatever it was. I don't know. It didn't seem very good, and I was like, oh, I really don't want to watch this video because I don't want to know, because Red Hot Chili Peppers are one of my favorite bands of all time, and I love them. And if I watch that, I'm gonna be like, oh no, no, I can't really enjoy it because he's a pure creep, and like I'm just being like, okay, I'll just won't watch that one, and then if it becomes that bad, like if it truly is that bad, it'll probably come out and I won't be able to avoid it. But let's just put it off until that happens, and I can still enjoy listening Under the Bridge. Do you know what I mean? And even like, I'm not being funny, but some people you go like, oh, Gary Glitter, he was shite or whatever. He never really was that good anyway, so it's not big a lot, not that big a loss. But I'll be honest, like, that when I was a wee kid, like that the song, like, you wanna be in my gang, my gang, my gang. I mean, it's a bit of a tune, like that is an earworm, And I'm sure when I was a kid, I used to sing that and stuff and think he was kind of cool. And like fuck that guy, obviously. Like, but I mean, it is a tune, and it gets in your head, and that, and I'm like, oh, and I sort of sometimes like hear myself kind of being like, do you want to be a mag? I'm like, no, stop, you can't be singing that because he's like an absolute fucking monster in that. So don't enjoy that song. And I'm like, yeah, it just sucks. I mean, obviously the biggest thing is it's obviously really fucking horrible for the people who are involved, like the victims and that. I'm not trying to like take anything away from that, but I'm just saying on top of the horrible impact that has, it really is shitty for all the people who are just like bystanders who just want to enjoy films and music and TV and whatever, and then they go, oh, this looks good, like let's watch that. Oh, it's got a fucking guy in it. Are you kidding me? Oh, can I watch? How big is he? Oh, he's like listed second on the credits. Like, no chance I can get through this. I'm trying to think. There was someone like recently who, I'm trying to think who it was, who I was under the impression that they were like cancelled because of all the shit they did, and then I saw them popping up. I'm trying to think who the fuck it was. I know like there's been a few people who got kind of mildly cancelled, like Russell Crowe, or who was, a couple people have said like dodgy things, but then they come back, but nothing like severe like some of these people. But I'm trying to think who was it again. There's someone who I'm like, are they still going? Um, or who was it? Um, Fuck, give me 1 second. I'm sorry, this is really unprofessional. Um, Well, Chris Brown is one who it's like he has tunes coming out, getting big radio play, video play, or whatever after all the shit that happened with him, and you're like, that's pretty mental. But there was an actor, I'm sure there was an actor who I thought did something really dodgy. I can't remember who it was. Right, I'll make a response to this video. But if you can think of who I'm talking about, then let me know in the comments because I cannot remember. But I'm sure someone who I was under the impression that they were like, "Nah, we're not going to be watching you anymore or listening to you anymore." I'm sure it was like an actor. Um, and then they're in some like new show or film or whatever. And it just off the bat, it's not Chris D'Elia. I know he's still doing all right for himself, even though he's pure a creep. It's not who else. I don't know. Is it? But let me know in the comments, please, because I genuinely do want to know. But there's someone, I swear to God, someone who's like quite big, who's still going out there, who's I thought was like done. Anyway, cheers for that. Thank you. I just remembered who it was. Johnny Depp. Like, I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but from what I heard from all the court cases and shit like that, or the courtroom stuff and the reports, that he did some pretty awful things. I'm not saying that Amber Heard didn't do awful things as well, but it really did seem pretty messed up what he did. And I think that that's pretty weird that that's kind of being brushed aside, being like, oh, he's now on like adverts for like, was it Sauvage or whatever, something like aftershave adverts and stuff like that. And I think he's still in films. Although one hilarious one I did see, you've probably seen this, was that they had Sauvage on like a poster. They have posters. I don't know if you have this in other countries, but posters on like bus stops, where it has like they'll have like an advert kind of thing, and it had like Johnny Depp looking all allegedly cool or whatever, and it has like Sauvage for like the aftershave written underneath it, and someone had stuck a bit of paper with the letter S over the V, so it says sausage, and I thought that was pretty fucking funny. Anyway, cheers.